Hi there, this is video 9 and it covers pages 12 and 13 in your notes. Sometimes when we're doing a lookup, the value you want to look up in the table is not in the leftmost column. And that is required by a VLOOKUP. A VLOOKUP insists that when you choose the table, as we did in the earlier video, and we said that B, C, and D were the table, the VLOOKUP insists that the first column in the table must contain the ID that you want to look up. So the VLOOKUP's not always robust or the best option when you're doing a lookup. Another alternative might be to use the actual lookup function instead of the VLOOKUP function when you want to perhaps look up the employee ID in the second column and return the position code that's in the first column. So let's go to master data, for example, and I'm going to click Control Home on column B. I'll click on the column letter B and I'll press Control Plus to insert a column. Now I'm going to put the title position underscore code, and I want to show the position code that goes with this employee ID. Now instead of a VLOOKUP, because position code is before employee ID in the extra data sheet, I'm going to use a lookup function equals L and LO. When I go LO and I go look up here, it looks for a value either from one row or column range, and it provides backward compatibility. So I'm going to double click lookup and it says, where's the value you want to look up? Well, I want to look up the employee ID and then comma. And it says, where do you want to find the employee ID? Well, that would be in extra data and that would be in column B. And then comma. And now it wants to know where's the result column. Well, that would be column A. So look up A2, find it in column B, and give me back the position code in column A. And I just press enter. And so that is the position code for Abby Newman. And then I just fill it down. Unfortunately, with the lookup function, it does require that the employee ID in this list here must be sorted. And if this is not sorted from A to Z, ascending order, then you'll get some NAs. So a couple of things here. We don't always want to do a VLOOKUP because what we're looking up is not the first column and we don't want to spend time rearranging the data. We don't necessarily want to use a lookup because what we're looking up, the employee ID, may not be sorted. So that then leads us to maybe using an XLOOKUP, and that's what I want to look at now. So let's go back to master data. I want to change the function that we've got here in B2. In fact, I'm going to delete what we've got in B except for the column heading. I sit in B2 and I go Control Shift down arrow, which selects to the bottom, and I press the delete key. I then press the up arrow and the down arrow, and that takes me back to B2. To do an XLOOKUP, I'm going to go equals X, and there is my XLOOKUP there. I'm going to double click XLOOKUP. Now this is a very powerful function and it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 arguments. The last 3 though are in square brackets, and square brackets implies that they're optional, so you don't have to use them, but you do need to provide it with the first 3 arguments. So the first argument is I want to look up the value in A2, comma. Then I want it to go and look at extra data and look at column B and find that employee ID, comma. Then I want it to return what's in column A, the position code, comma. Then I have the option of saying, what do you want to say if that employee ID is not found, instead of just NA. Then I'll put double quote, no position code found, double quote, comma. Then it says, when I look up that employee ID and I try to find it in column B, does it have to be an exact match, or the smallest closest one, or the largest closest one, or just the closest one? It has to be an exact match. I don't want to return just any employee. It has to be the exact employee ID. So I'm going to put a 0 and then comma. And then it's basically saying, do you want to search from first to last or last to first? I want to search from first to last. So I'm just going to choose a 1. And that's where I'm going to end it. So I'll just close the bracket and press enter. And so now I have the position code for Abby 20322. There's Abby 20322. And if I was to double click and fill it down, I won't get any NAs because they all do have position codes. But if it was the case that there was somebody without a position code, let me just create that situation. So if I went to Abby and said, oh, actually, no, she's 200, then I say no position code. And then I'll go Control Z to undo it. The X lookup is more robust than the V lookup by far. That just touches on a few things, but it actually has more power than that. So if you don't have all your data in one place, bring the data in and then perhaps use an X lookup to look up an identifying value, find it in the other list. So both lists needs to have that identifying value and return related information back into here. I also want to convert all my formulas now to values. So I'm just going to go Control A, Control C, and right click and paste the values, 1, 2, 3. Control Home and Escape. And I now have all my values sitting here, getting ready, getting close to us creating our dashboards. Now practice what you've learnt, absorb what we've covered, and I'll see you in the next video.